Yeah. Okay. How are you? That's cool. We want to do it.
Want to take
Very good. Very good. Okay. Sure. Okay. More. Kids?
yeah. Tiranga.
Yes, kids. Quickly, quickly. Quick, kids. This way, this way. What is this? What you say by in front? Okay, everybody. This way.
Hi. I hope you are smiling because I'm not seeing you.
One more time. Cheese. All right. Good. Are you waiting for the photo? Yeah, both of them to the comment. That's okay. Come back, come back, come back, come back. Come back, right to go. Right, yes, sir. Hello, everybody. Oh, sorry.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to be here before you and to say welcome to His Excellency, our Executive President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Honorable Dr. Irfaan Ali. We want to say welcome to Riversview and its satellite Falmouth. To start today, I'm going to ask Mr. Smith to lead us in a word of prayer. Are you, Mr. Ward? Mr. Ewan Ward?
Okay, let us all bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we give you praise and we give you thanks again, Lord. Lord, we thank you again for today, Lord. Lord, we thank you, Lord, that we can gather here this afternoon, Lord. Lord, I pray, Lord, that you will bless our president, Lord. Bless every minister too, Lord. In the name of Jesus. And Lord, you bless the entire nation, Lord, as we strive for betterment of our country. In Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen.
Yes, Mr. Tulsiram. Sit in front here for you. It's a privilege for us to be here. We know the weather is a little rainy, which is a good thing because we've been having so much of sun and we have been complaining about the heat. So we are grateful for the rain. I have with me Mr. John, Mr. Ward, two REOs from Region 7 and Region 10, because we happen to be in an area where we're looked over by both regions. And we have our PS from the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs. We have Mr. Ward, Prime Minister Rep for Region 7. We have Mr. Barnes. We have Mr. Barnes, our CDO. We have Mr. Pereira, our MDO. We have PS from local government, PS from Ministry of Education, Ministry of Public Works, PS, and all of the other persons who are here as guests. We welcome you to Riversview, and we're hoping that this will not be your last visit. We're welcoming you to come back in the very near future. So it's not to say you'll just make a visit today and we don't see you back. So we're hoping that you're going to become a frequent visitor to Riversview. I'm now going to ask REO Region 10 to say a few words.
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfaan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Permanent Secretaries, Heads of Department from the various ministries within our beautiful country, I must say welcome to Region 10. Riversview is a part of Region 10, and I would like to welcome you as well as His Excellency to this wonderful paradise called Riversview. Our work here in the region is taking off, and His Excellency will be the person who's here to explain to you what the government of Guyana will be doing within your part of our beautiful country. So with that, I must say thanks for all of you to coming out here today and being a part of this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful visit. Thank you. Um, uh,
All right, so we'll now have a few words from Mr. Lionel.
His Excellency, President Dr. Irfaan Ali, colleagues in Ministry of Agriculture, other ministries, importantly, residents of this community, good morning. Good afternoon. Yes, so this is our third meeting for today, and like we have been doing for a number of years now, we go out to communities and interact and have this relationship established. So like we have a number of previous visits, concerns would have been raised and commitments were made, and there are certain activities, project activities that had to be undertaken. In Riversview, all the commitments that was raised with us, we have delivered 100% of those commitments. And some of these activities, projects included from the Ministry of Agriculture and under the ministry various agencies combined, and we deliver on these promises. These include shade house. Shade houses would have been established, and currently there are crops like poi, sweet pepper, celery, and cabbage being cultivated utilizing these shade house. Commitment was made for a cassava mill that was delivered. Also, fertilizers and other chemicals would have been distributed by NARI. And of course, the black giant boards, a number of them would have been provided in these communities. Also, there was an exchange visit with some farmers and residents to Georgetown, where some training would have been received. In terms of drainage and irrigation, I know we would have spent across, like the Tushao spoke, in region 7 and 10, you shared almost a common waterway. In the entire block of villages, $130 million was expended in about 12 communities. And in this Riverview community, we would have expended an amount of $13.5 million, where we would have cleared approximately 60 acres of farmland, and in excess of 5,000 feet of internal drains were excavated. Apart from that, I know there is other requests and a program to do about an additional 90 acres, and this would include internal drains as well. It's estimated to be about $20 million. And very shortly, we would conclude that procurement process, and we'll be able to implement this program. So what we would have done with the 60 acres, we will continue with that activity to help assist other farmers. Also, the last time persons would have raised an issue about the fresh catch fish, the sale of it. I know there would been some establishment in terms of purchasing of those fish, and I think one farmer is doing the saltfish as well, and there is some contact to have that sell. Also, with the classification of eggs based on size, some training was done in this regard, and also farming tools was provided. So in addition to other ministries deliverable, these are some of the activities the Ministry of Agriculture would have undertaken and successfully completed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. REO7, a few words.
Good afternoon, residents of Region 10. Honorable President Dr. Irfaan Ali, permanent secretaries, department heads, most of all the villagers of Riversview. I must say I'm happy to be here again because it also interact with Riversview. Because Riversview is one of the fortunate communities whose benefit from an intervention from both Region 10 and Region 7. However, this year, through our education ministry, we will be doing 2 projects here in the education sector, rehabilitating both the nursery and primary schools. Having said that, we'll continue to have intervention in this region, both from Region 7 and 10. Thank you.
Very good news indeed. PS? Nothing. All right, so I know that you've been here waiting a long time and you want to hear from His Excellency, and I'm not going to keep it back. So I'm going to hand you straight over to His Excellency.
Thank you. Please. Thank you very much, Tushar. Residents, allow me first of all to thank you for having us here this afternoon. Today in Region 7, we are visiting a number of communities. This is our 3rd meeting for the day. We still have 2 more meetings and then 1 activity tonight. But this is all in service to the people of our country. We made a commitment in government that regardless of how small or big a community is, the People's Progressive Party civic government will visit, listen, act, and ensure that life in every community improves. And this is a philosophy that drives us. This is a philosophy that enables us to work with every single community. My government work in every region, across all ethnic lines, across all religious boundaries, because for us, the only thing that will make us strong, the only thing that will make us resilient, the only thing that would lead us into prosperity is one Guyana, in which all the people of our country must aspire, all the people of our country must grow, and all the people of our country must benefit, and that is what we are about. I want to thank Tushau for her continuous work in representing your community, Riversview, her continuous activism for Riversview. I know every national Tushau conference you will tackle me and corner me with all the needs for Riversview. And I want to say that we are appreciative of your leadership and the way in which we could have worked together to deliver so much here in Riversview. You know, sometimes we can be very short-sighted and we forget very important things, you know. 3.5 years ago, the school children grant, the Because We Care grant was not there. 3.5 years ago, the level of support for elderly or pensioners was not there. 3.5 years ago, we did not have the school grants to have materials and all these things invested in. we are working on an agenda to ensure the quality of life improves. And what do we mean by the quality of life? We want you to have better access to energy. We want your children to have better access to recreational facilities. We want the school to have material, to have textbook, to have the infrastructure that will support learning. We want our teachers to have the best possible environment in which they teach. And we also want our teachers to have the best possible benefits and salaries. And I assure you, by the time we get to 2027, when larger sums of revenue will flow into the country, it will be very competitive in every profession, especially the teaching profession. Because there will be higher qualified persons vying for the jobs, and the jobs will be highly paid, so that the competition, that is why now we are offering to our teachers the opportunity to become trained teachers free of cost, wherever they are. We are offering an opportunity to earn degrees, master's degree, free of cost, wherever they are. We are making this investment so we can make life easier and better for them. So, over the last 3.5 years, and today I don't want to be long, I don't have to tell you the story of development. If we are honest or conscious, we know what is taking place all across the country. But if you look at our presidential grants in this region, in this community, since 2020, we have been able to invest more than $6 million in our presidential grant. In the investment fund that saw the development of the ICT hub, a passenger boat, the engine, procurement of engine, we have seen an investment about 15 million US dollars. And 15 million Guyana dollars, sorry. They already have the tractor here too. You have also received your tractor, 2 tractors and trailer, 2 tractors and trailer. Put your hands together. $8 billion out of the $3 billion supplementary provision that we passed, your community received $10 million. When we had the National Tushao Council conference, we're listening to the needs of all the community, we immediately passed a supplementary provision of $3 billion. Out of that, $10 million has been invested here in Riversview. We have the Shade House project. We have the LCDS fund. Out of the LCDS fund, this is something that the government was pursuing. The last government shut it down. We've been able to bring this back and make it an international program, a development strategy that many countries are now patterning themselves after, especially countries that are forested. We have been able to transfer directly to your community $35 million, of which 32.8 has already been disbursed under the LCDS funds. These are things that we did not promise in the manifesto. We have completed everything we promised you in the manifesto. But more importantly, these are bonus things that we have given you because we are a government that cares and we're a government that understands the needs of our people. In that NDIA, because we're focusing heavily on food security, agricultural expansion, tourism, in the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority spent $13.5 million on the clearing of internal drain. We are now working to clear 490 acres, to make 90 acres available and accessible for agricultural production, and that will be a cost of $25 million additionally that we'll be spending in your community. You know, when you look at the capital project, $7.1 million, look at the CSOs we have rehired, and when you look at 3.5 years ago, you know, the cash grant that was taken away, since we brought back that cash grant, directly in the pockets of the children of this community, we have transferred $12.5 million. And this is going to continue to grow and expand itself. When you look at the school grant, $1.4 million we have transferred to the school. As Ario said, we'll be building a new nursery and primary school here. Rehabbing, the nursery and primary school, that is a cost of about $6 million. To our pensioners, between 2021 and 2024, we have transferred directly to our pensioners in this community more than $23 million, and we have spent almost $7.8 million on training persons in this community. Having said all of that, we are still here to continue listening to you, to see ways in which we can continue to expand the livelihood, create new opportunities, look at ways in which you have the public works, education, health, everybody is here. We want to know what we can do to improve service. We don't only want to build the facility, we want to ensure that you get a high quality service. So we want you to tell us how we can work together, how we can continue this partnership, how we can continue to grow the opportunities in your community, and how we can create an environment in which prosperity is inherited by all the residents of Riversview and all the residents across our country. I assure you, with your support and with the People's Progressive Party Civic remaining in government, you will only grow better, more prosperous, more sustainable, and all your lives will definitely get better. I thank you and God bless you. And now we move to the more important part of this engagement today, and that is listening to you, listening to some of your ideas, and to see how we can work together to move even a step further in realizing your dreams and aspirations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. You have heard from His Excellency some of the things that are being done not only at Riversview and Falmouth. When His Excellency said 35 million, he didn't add Falmouth's own. So, so we actually got $50 million. And these monies were used to improve things in our village. I know there are still some other things that we would like to see happen. And as long as we continue working together, we are going to develop not only ourselves and our village, but also this one Guyana that we're all a part of. So I'm going to hand this mic to one of our people, and let's go about it in an orderly manner as we make representation for our village. Thank you, Your Excellency. One other thing, when you get up to talk, say your name, please, for the record's sake. Thanks. Do we have any issues with birth certificates? I know I've been working a lot with that. But if we still have any other persons who...
Where's the PS?
If we still have any other issues, so...
So PS, you can stand up here. I don't know where you lineman, you come to line? Okay, stand there and get the thing done.
Thank you.
So anyone with birth certificate issue, registration, death certificate, change the name, just go to PS. Let's go. Just raise your hand and maybe we can. No, no. So let's open up for anyone who first. Yeah, no one have anything to say? That's good.
Good afternoon, residents. A special welcome to our president. My name is Loretta Braffett of Falmouth, the satellite of Riversview. First thing I would like to ask concerning our ball field. We, the resident of Falmouth, is seeking help to complete our ball field. We did a part manual, however, we need a machine, an excavator or a bulldozer to help level the ground and open it a little more in size. We are not getting the support from the community level. We bring this concern several times to the various meetings and nothing was done. So Mr. President, we would like to ask you if you could please help us, because we have children from our village, from not to the national level. and we really in need of this playfield to be completed. Thank you. On job creation, we are very much thankful for the part-time, but we are asking if we could get a few more to join in. Solar farm. We are asking if we could get a solar farm in Falmouth, and we will be very much grateful. Thank you for listening to our concern, Mr. President.
His Excellency President Dr. Irfaan Ali, heads of table, other visiting team, residents of Riversview and Falmouth. A special good afternoon to you. First of all, I want to say welcome to the President. My name is Rodney Smith, Vice to Show. I'm also from Falmouth, a satellite village of Riversview. I want, on your next visit, Mr. President, that you visit Falmouth. Falmouth is a developing community presently, but we also have some needs. For some time now, we have been addressing this river defense. We suffer from a lot of erosion, and we need river defense right now. Also, at Falmouth, we need a community boat. Just about 30 minutes ago, Mr. Wong came and told me, your boat is sinking. So right now the boat is not in a condition to, we use this boat to, like today we attend meeting, we had to make 2 trips, but we need another boat because this one, right now, at presently, it is leaking. So I had to send someone to go and build a boat. Thirdly, we also need a nursery school at Falmouth. I heard you mention nursery school, but you did not mention Falmouth. But we also need a nursery school at Falmouth because right now we have the nursery and primary in one. We also need a solar farm at Falmouth. I must say thank you that I saw in the paper that there is a bid for wells, and wells is plural. So that means that there is more than one well. So I must say thanks very much to the government for the wells that soon to be put down. Also, I'm requesting an ATV bike and trailer. We have with the LCDS fund, we have a project with chicken farm. Right now we have chicken, but the chicken farm, the chicken pen is not too close to the river. And there are times when we have to, we have to push the feed with the wheelbarrow. I myself do it sometimes, not at all time. And then when we finish plucking, we have to use wheelbarrow again to bring out the chickens. It is about, I must say, like half mile from the riverside. So that is one part. Mr. President, if you can solve that problem. This morning, the HM was asking me if, I must ask Mr. President if we can, they need a smart TV in the school also. So she's requesting it. So I'm requesting it on behalf of the HM at Falmouth. So thank you very much for listening.
very good afternoon to His Excellency Dr Irfaan Ali, and I want to say a very special welcome to the various persons from various ministries too that came here today to Riversview, and I must welcome the residents also. Firstly, I would like to speak on the promise that was made to fishermen that they would obtain certain amount of money. I've been doing fishing for all my years, and to date I haven't received anything. I was also told that only person that have been affected, but if we're talking about affected, I was being affected since from the Omai spill. That was way back in mid-90s until now. I wasn't compensated, and I am not compensated until now. That is on a personal note. In education, I think that Riversview have met the criteria whereby Riversview, Makaura, and Falmouth, if we come together, we will meet the criteria whereby we should obtain a secondary school. That would ease the government from finding the necessary transportation, gas, and boat and engine and so on, to take the children to 3 miles away from the Bartica front, to 3 Mile School and to 1 Mile School. If we have that school in Riversview, and I know that we have the necessary persons being trained in teaching that can come and teach at Riversview. We have that because a lot of persons migrate from Guyana and go and teach outside. I was also told, just have patience with me. I was also told that about someone who went abroad, and he told me that Guyanese teachers go and teach, and they go with definitely a higher level of education. So the teachers need to applaud themselves, the government need to applaud themselves on that behalf, and we need to continue in that streak. On the agriculture now, due to that, the fish population have been depleted so much, I had to divert from fishing to farming. So I'm in between. I'm encountering some difficulties. I would also like to obtain a pond whereby I can put fish there I can harvest and sell, and also would like to have some drainage. I heard about drainage. The president talked about drainage to drain my land so that my crops can come better. In Riversview here, as you travel along the river, we have a lot of miles here. So as you travel along, you can notice a lot of erosion taking place. And I think that if the government put city fence here now, it would benefit a lot of people because we have lost a lot of land already to erosion. From the time that I was coming to school to now, we have lost meters of land in front there. So I am kindly asking that that the government, in fact, put this into consideration and bless us with the river defense. Okay, now we are one of the communities that have been existing for quite some time, a number of years before other communities. Other communities have obtained road that they can traverse with vehicles, and to date we are just having a truck, and our truck is being used by motorcycles. I think we need some roads also, even at the front, and all. We have persons were suggesting a road at the second day plan. So I'm thankful for if you can look into all of this, and most of all, I'm thankful for the things that the government have done since they came into power, since the PPPC began ruling Guyana, since they became our government, and since Mr. Ali became my president and our president. I'm very thankful for all the things that you have put in place, because even unto the pensioners now enjoy some of the things that you have put in place for them. We have the disability persons. You even look, your ministries and various other ministries look into these things. In our community, we can see that most things have been done from the time that we have existed from the time you became president. We have achieved more and we have done more in our community than all the past presidents and all the past administrations that have ruled. I am congratulating you on your behalf, your personal behalf, because you have a vision to make one Guyana. And with that vision, I want to put a little input into that also. For us to become one Guyana, we don't only have to talk one Guyana. We have to act one Guyana. And for us to act one Guyana, and for people to act in the right way, we need laws in place. So if we put legislation in place whereby it would be a crime to discriminate against another person because of their race or whatever, right, well, I think that we will be heading in the right direction. And once more, I thank you for having patience with me, and thank you very much. Have a lovely day and a lovely time. And I know that you already won the next election.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Levi Douglas, and I'm from a satellite village, New Found Out, that is between Riversview and Falmouth. I must say I'm thankful for your visit to this community. We've had some visits before by two former presidents. This is back in the 90s by Comrade Chetty and Comrade Hoyt. But your visit today, I'm glad you came so I can raise some of my concerns. I'm engaged mostly in farming, and my farming deals in a different type of farming and multi-purposing, whereby I find that the land after you plant it, you wouldn't get the same crops, the value of the crops in the next stage. So I do multi-purpose and try other stuff. They're part of my land where there's grass growing, and I think that I can do some animal rearing. I've done it before, but I had to quit because I had to do a surgery. The area that they spoke about the 60 acres clearing, it was done. We had a meeting here from agriculture minister, and I had indicated to him that my vision based upon what I'm doing is to have a canal and a road dug on the 10-acre boundary line, which it will connect the communities from Mokorio to Falmouth. But the question that came about is that if they spend all this money to do this drainage and the road, how much farmers would it benefit? And I couldn't have answered that because the people who were in the meeting, they didn't even raise their hand and said they were doing farming. But the problem exists that many people do not have titles to their land. They encounter various issues and they quit through frustration. But I've been doing this for a while and I'm seeing the benefits. So having said that, Mr. Mustafa, I think he sent Mr. Dwarka to see what I was doing and how they could get the project going. And they decided that they would do the project in the 60 acres clearing of this land in the new found out area. It was done, but the problem exists whereby it was done in a rainy weather. The drainage that they dug all are actually filled up. The bush started to grow back again because the next phase, I think it was land preparation, whereby we didn't have nobody to really represent us. And the problem is that to get something done, who do you seek? Who do you get engaged with? Who do you call? Who do you get something to be done? And that's a big problem. You cannot get to speak to this person because you cannot get to talk to this person, and it is left in that way presently now, whereby we had a driver that had wanted the tractor with the plow to come and level the land. I was told that I had to find my own funds to get fuel and extra. And I was very disappointed because I said the low carbon money is there. They could use some of the funding. It's for development of the community. Why can't I get help in that way? Anyway, right now, I need a bit of help because the excavator dug a hole in pond for me so I could get water to water my plants. And the overburden that they left there, I requested also that we have a machine remaining in this community, a small excavator, because there's lots of work that can be done that you cannot get to be done because you lack a machine. I have to be using a hoe and spade to get that overburden flattened out. And it's very hard on me, but I've been doing it. I want to ask you, Mr. President, I don't want to take up too much time, that in visits like these, it's good if you come here and have a meeting and so on. But if you could get your reps from various agencies, because we had from the NDIA, they came and they visited and saw what I was doing and the need that I had. And so that project started, but it remains at a standstill because I need some other works to be done. The land has to be leveled and so on. But you cannot get into contact with somebody. So I need from you, I need from you that if you could get someone or from you to come and visit individual areas and see the needs of people.
We're gonna look at the community issues, right?
Yeah, community issues in this area, it is very difficult to get things to be done in community, right? Because how many people can actually leave what they're doing to go and do community work?
No, man, you're not understanding what I'm saying. I'll speak just now. Just let's get somebody else.
Okay, thank you.
We can't take up the entire meeting with a personal issue, right?
Nancy, afternoon. Assalamu alaikum and Ram Ram. I'm here on behalf of Riversview Health Post and we're seeking some assistance in some needs that we can have an 18-feet boat. We have the engine already. The purpose for this boat is to take patients across to Bartica Hospital and an all-terrain vehicle because sometimes we have patients that we need to go for them way down to the back. We can't get them out there. So I'm just hoping that you look into this matter, and I thank you very much for your time.
Good afternoon, His Excellency and members and from different representatives of the ministry. My name is Gregory Williams, and I'm also the pastor of the Goshen Baptist Church. One of the things I would like to address, I don't know if it's possible, but we are thankful for the solar farm that the government have blessed this community with, and so that the buildings, the schools and the community centers and the office. We have electricity. Right now we have electricity here. I'm requesting or asking rather if it's possible that it can be extended in the community for residents to get electricity. This is a kind of personal issue, but I've born and grew in Riversview, and we're living on a 10-acre land, about 12 families. And I don't want to, I saw on the news where, people, they were squatting and then people have to move and these things. And I don't want that, I would like something like that to happen to me at least and my family. So I'm seeking advice on how we can go about. Well, actually, I tried to go already, and I was told that the land is private property and we cannot get title to this land or ownership. But I was also told I can go for prescriptive rights because I'm living there over 15 years. Actually, must be more than that. And if we can get somebody, or in what direction we can take so that we can get this title land, because as I said, I just want to be on the safe side. So thank you very much.
Anybody else?
Let's go. All right, good. All right. Hello, hello. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, residents. I've listened and I'm very impressed with the focus on self-sustainability for the communities. Now, in relation to the farming and agriculture, I don't want us to invest for one individual. We have to invest for the community. So if my friend, the individual who spoke, I don't know how many acres of land you have, but what we have done in the Cameroon is that if we have 30 farmers, we have helped them to develop 5 acres each of their land. So I'm going to say in this community, I'm going to ask the Ministry of Agriculture to work now to develop 50 acres of land. You have the 90 acre, but develop 50 acres. And for us to have 10 acres or 20 acres planted with sweet potato, maybe another 10 acres with the cabbage, the red cabbage, and the rest with cash crop and cassava. We are also going to work to have the red cabbage integrated into Guyana Marketing Corporation so that we'll have a market when we have the produce. The same thing with the sweet potato. So by next week, I want us to start getting all the material, planting material, and get a community approach to develop 50 acres of farm in the community itself. Now, this is very important because I don't know if you're aware, but this year, last year, for example, we spent about $230 million on the Timeri Sandhill Road Link. Now, we're investing in this road link to open up opportunities here. As that road will be invested in, you'll have easier access to market and better opportunities coming your way, including the movement of miners coming through that road that can buy produce and you can supply to. So this year, last year we did about 44 kilometers. We cleared 44 kilometers and we converted 10 kilometers into upgraded Fairweather Road. This year, we have just completed the tender process for another 11 kilometers of that road. So that is ongoing, and that's a massive project that will fuel the transformation of this area. Outside of that, Dr. Waldron will be working with you to see if we can establish maybe a communal pasture. Because if you want to do livestock, I think we have to invest in a communal pasture. So Dr. Waldron will work with you on establishment of a communal pasture. Outside of the communal pasture, for Falmouth and for Riversview, we're going to select some young people and single women. And we're going to train them in beekeeping. And we're going to do 25 hives at Falmouth and 25 hives at Riversview. And we want to start that almost instantaneously. We're going to give you all the protective gear. We're going to train you. We're going to give you the hives. And we're already establishing the market. Guyana Pharmaceutical Corporation will be the off-taker of the honey. So that's another project that we'll launch here with you. Outside of this, the Ministry of Health, by the end of next week, will come to both Portsmouth and Riversview to do the spectacles program. The eye, to have your eyes tested. Those who need spectacle will give you the voucher to get the spectacle. And those who need cataract surgeries will have you taken to the hospital in Port Moran so you can have those surgery. So next week they're going to come both in Portsmouth and Riversview to do this program. In addition to that, they will launch a cervical cancer screening program for women so that we can screen all the women here and ensure that we're working proactively to protect your health. So okay. Now, outside of this, there are a number of other issues that persons raise. The expansion of the part-time program, we're going to look at that. The solar farm, we did 335 household units in Portsmouth and in Riversview. That is a cost of close to $20 million. We've already invested in that. So yes, we are looking at mini-grid. We have done one mini-grid here at about $32.5 million, but we have already delivered to every household one of the solar home unit. That is 335 units in this community. The river defense, we're going to look at that. We take notes about the river defense. The internal roads at Falmouth. We are doing some internal roads at Portsmouth this year. We'll let the ministry come back and tell you when those roads will actually commence. Outside of that, at Portsmouth, we're doing a new well, and that well will cost us $35 million. So we'll have a new well there. The television for the school, the smart TV, we will ensure that all the school are equipped with smart TV, both here at Riversview and at Portsmouth. So by next week Friday, that will be done by the Ministry of Education. The issue with the plucking of the chicken, we'll go a step further for you. We're going to give you a plucking machine. So by next week, the Ministry of Agriculture will deliver to you a plucking machine that would help you. Now, Basha, we want to see, we're going to explore with you, especially young people and women, whether we can establish 2 marine cages here. The marine cage will help us to, in a modern way, have the Basha or any other fish that we can grow here, and we're also going to see to have that market expanded. Where we have to get it salted and dried, we're going to see to have that market expanded. So those are the things that I think you would have raised. The playground, the ball field, I've instructed that we ensure we get that done. Colin, you have to work with Region 10 to ensure that the ball field is completed. Okay? And the community, they may need fuel for the machine, so we can have this ball field completed. Those are the issues raised. We're going to work on implementing all these things from the new week. Dwaka is going to work on the agriculture program, not to come and set up alone. He's going to be here bringing in the extension officers and having persons work with you until you finish the first crop. After that, you will learn by yourselves to continue into the second crop and third crop. But that is what we want to do, okay? This young lady in front, would you like to say something? Right there. No, you. Right here. You're watching me. No, next to you. Okay. I see you expressing yourself, so I don't want you to be frustrated. I want you to tell me if anything is bothering you. I know it's Radio Region 7, so that's why I want to know if anything bothering her. All right. So, anyone else? Yeah. So we'll take one more person, and then we'll go to the next two meetings. Okay. So you got to go quickly, right?
Good afternoon, Mr. President. Good afternoon, villagers. I'm talking on behalf of the. I'm talking on behalf of the Riversview Sport Club, right? Um, for a while now, we somebody promised us floodlight. For the past 5 years,
How much floodlight you have to get? 4?
about 6.
Okay. We're going to look at the 6 floodlights. I'm going to give you some sporting equipment today, some football, volleyball. We're going to give 2 sewing machines to Riverview, 2 sewing machines to Fallsmouth, and we're going to look at giving you some sporting equipment today. We are also going to give you a tiller for both Fallsmouth and Riverview. We have a tiller that we're going to leave here for you, okay? All right, thank you very much. The matter is that you want a license gun.
Right, so that's why it is. So I don't need anything. Right, let me help you.
Okay. Yes, lovely. I got one. Come on.
Thank you.
His Excellency, the President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Dr. Irfaan Ali, members of the different departments, members of Agatash, good afternoon. I would like to warmly welcome each and every one of you to our community today. On behalf of Agatash community, we would like to formally and sincerely express our gratitude for the amazing support you and your government have given us over the years. You have been serving us as a president. Your actions and input have directly and positively impact the development of our community. We would like to know impact on the development of our community. We want you to know that we all value the amount of effort you and your government have put into your work in moving our community forward. As the time unfolds, we sincerely look forward for your continuous support. Once again, sincerest gratitude to you and your hard work and dedication in delivering quality service to our community. Thank you.
Okay, that was not the welcome really, that was the remarks, but anyway, it go a bit different. We're supposed to be opening with a prayer, so we still go ahead with the prayer by Miss Tina Kojo.
Good afternoon. Let us bow our heads and give God praise and thanks. Almighty God and Father, this afternoon we come before you. We thank you for our president who have been visitors on here in this village. We thank you for the wonderful work that he has been doing for us. We thank you for the many blessings that he has blessing us with. And because of you, oh God, we know that you are in all. We know that you never make mistake in doing all these things for your people. Who you have chosen, you have chosen. And we thank you for blessing him and his delegates so that we who can have his benefit and our country benefit, we want to thank you, God, for everything this afternoon that you have prepared for us in future ahead also. Thank you, Father, this afternoon. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Okay, we now have a song by Mario Williams. Mario Williams. Mario Williams is here. Mario Williams, please come forward. Okay, we now have the introduction of the official.
Thank you very much, Manila. And good afternoon, everyone, His Excellency the President and the visiting team. There is something here this afternoon I wish to acknowledge. And I guess all of you here in Agatash would agree with me. Whenever we come to Agatash, we have to wait on you. But this afternoon, you're waiting on us. So I think we're doing well. I remember the last time Kamajagya was here. We were waiting about half an hour for you to come out. But you're early, so we're improving. I wish to thank you for the support that you've given us over the years and continue to do so. And it's a fact that we, in return, would have given you everything that you would have requested. So we have a very good working relationship. It is known that whenever things bother you, we have our rub or arguments, but then we see we see in a certain part. As a government, we have continued to work with you to develop this community. Agatash, from 2015 to 2020, would have seen nothing happening in this village. And so is Akoralo Bay, nothing at all. From 2020 upwards, you would have benefited from everything that this government has offered so far. With this cash grant, with its tractors, with its bridges, and also don't forget, for a long time you were asking for the irrigation process, the whole irrigation system with the back. That was also done. And so we continue to work together with you. A request was made last year for the main bridge, and as you see, the bridge is now being built. There was a time in Agatash here when we couldn't walk on the road. Don't forget those days. And from 92 to now, you would have seen that kind of development taking place in this village. And we are serious about development. When the president was here the last time, that's at the community center, he would have made some commitments. And all those commitments would have been fulfilled. I'm happy to say to you that he's here again to speak to you, to listen to you, and to see what ideas we can get from you. And so, while we speak, put your thoughts, your ideas together, so you can have this discussion with the president. Agatash, thank you very much for all your support.
His Excellency, heads of the ministry, of the various ministries, residents all, a pleasant good afternoon. And I've also joined with Mr. Ward, saying that I'm happy to be here this afternoon. In terms of agriculture and agriculture development, Mr. President, we are skipping no village. And similar to the other villages which we came from this afternoon, and all other villages which we will be going to. Here in Agatash, we have also have development. And more recently, we have been engaging farmers in training, in vegetative propagation, in distribution of fertilizer, seedling, for training, and the distribution of black giants. And over the past 2 months, we have had exchange program whereby farmers from Agatash visited Region 4 to look at swine production and poultry rearing. So in the next 2 weeks, swine production, swine rearing, and poultry production will commence in Agatash because of the training and what GLDA will be providing to the Agatash village. So overall, agriculture will continue. We will continue to work with farmers in Agatash to ensure that Agatash village is not left out in its agriculture development, Mr. President. Thank you very much.
Okay, this is Mr. Ramraj from Ministry of Agriculture. I don't know if anybody would like to say anything. You sure? Anybody else would like to say anything from the ministry? Anybody would like to say anything from the ministry? Okay, I just hand you over directly to the president.
Thank you very much. Residents of Agatash, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Nice. First of all, allow me to thank all of you for your presence here this afternoon as we continue to work in the interests of the people. One of the priorities of the government is to create an environment in which the people are included in their own decision making. The people are included in identifying their priorities and what can advance life in their community. Because the most important thing for us in this government is to build prosperity to every single community. Regardless of how small that community is, or how large that community is, we have been working with every single community across the country to enhance productivity, build livelihood option, bring prosperity, and advance the development of people all across our country. Whether it's in healthcare, education, roads, infrastructure, agriculture, all of these things are critical in building a stronger and more sustainable community. Agatash is no strange place for me. For a matter of fact, in all three facets of my life, I've been associated with the development of Agatash. I don't know how many of you know that. But when I was 18 years old, one of the first places that I was sent to under the BNTF and CIMA program was Agatash, with a man called Clyde Rupchan, that the older folks in Agatash should remember. Those days we came through a Madam, and there were no houses like this. It was as if you're traveling for hours. Then, and by boat. Then, in my second phase in life, as Minister of Housing and Water, I came back to Agatash again to do some work here and to expand development here. Then, with your love and support as President, I'm fortunate to be back here with the people of Agatash. I have Mr. Sheikh Bakshir, who was Minister of Housing and Water too. And he can tell you the early days of Agatash, because all of us work in these communities, whether it's 3 miles, 4 miles, Agatash, the new housing scheme, the water treatment plant, all of these things has a long history behind it. A history of sacrifice and struggle, a history of commitment, a history of focus on development, and that all of that history is associated with the People's Progressive Party civic and government. And it is, we don't have to stretch our imaginations very far. Just go back to 3.5 years ago. We left a system where we gave children money under the Because We Care grant. What did the last government do? They took away that money from the children. What development took place? What investment took place? How did life improve for our children or pensioners? But today, I want to say that we are very pleased that the government that you supported, the love you poured into this government, has resulted in the delivery of all our commitments to you. Today, I can stand here and very clearly say with a clear conscience, we have fulfilled all our manifesto commitment and we are working on bonus now. And today, as Ramraj, Ward and the region will tell you, although we have fulfilled all the commitments I made when I came to Bartica a 1.5 years ago, today we are here to talk to you about the next phase of development. We are here to talk to you about the next phase of development. And yes, just like the paper, we are flying into the next phase. Because we are moving at jet pace. We are moving at jet pace. By the way, today, in our continuing relationship with the U.S., you know, we have a strong relationship with the U.S. military. We have a lot of collaboration, a lot of training that is taking place. We had one such training today where U.S. assets flew over Guyana with the coordination of the Guyana Defense Force. So nothing for you to worry about. This is just another phase of our relationship and our development. We want a safe region. We want a region that respects the rule of law. We want a region in which all of us can live together as neighbors with respect for each other's territorial integrity. That is all Guyana wants. Respect for its sovereign space. So my friends, as we build this new economy, we want to link every community to a new phase of development. To talk to you as to how we can create expanded opportunity, how we can expand the food production, how we can link that food production into the township of Bartica, into the mining community, how we can build a system here to do upskilling of our human resource asset to support the investment and development in the hinterland. How are we going to prepare for the tourism that will take place? As you know, one of the projects we're doing is a Timeri Sandhill road network that will link traffic directly to Bartica and make it far more efficient, reliable to bring more opportunities through Bartica. So Bartica is going to become an important development hub. A tremendous investment will take place in this hub. So today, as I said, I'm not here to talk for a very long time. But I also have to take this opportunity to remind you of a few things. You know, not so long ago, as I said, our children were stripped of the allowance that we give them under the Because We Care grant. Today, since we were returned to office, your children got directly in their pockets more than $25 million under the Because We Care grant. That was $25 million that was taken away from them. And guess what? It is only going to get larger and larger. And this year and next year, you will see increases in the Because We Care grant as we go into next year, because we promise and we deliver on our promise. My friends, one of the things that has always troubled us in our school system is the access to material, chalk, teaching aid, teaching material. And in an effort to tackle this problem, what we have done is that we have transferred directly to the schools in Agatash $2.8 million to support the learning in school by buying material and supporting our children in school. We are also working to ensure that all our teachers can become trained teachers, trained graduate teachers, giving them all the possibility to be the best they can be. Because by 2027, there will be a completely different structure in the welfare and wages of teachers, nurses, doctors. But by then, when you have higher wages, there will be greater competition for the job in teaching, because more qualified people will want to enter the teaching profession. So we are giving them that opportunity to upgrade themselves now in preparation for what is coming in the future. In agriculture, as Ramraj would have said, we have made tremendous investment in agriculture here in Agatash. For a matter of fact, we have spent close to $12 million in improving drainage and irrigation and rehabilitating drainage network here in Agatash. We have also spent money on the rehabilitation and extension of the health posts. And this extension and rehabilitation would have benefited more than 808 persons. We completed this in 2022 at a cost of $10.6 million. These are the investments that we are making to make life easier and better here in Agatash. In public works, in 2021, we spent $20.6 million on your roads. In 2023, we spent $49 million on your road, and most of that were the commitments we made when we came to that outreach. That is more than $69 million. On energy, 97 solar home system was delivered. That is the household system for the installation of solar energy. We have created and installed 15.5 kilowatt of new energy capacity here in Agatash. The investment we have made in solar power and enhancing your energy needs is close to $6 million. When you look at the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security, in pensions alone, we have spent, from 2020 to now, we have spent tens of millions of dollars on the delivery of old age pension here. When you look at the investment we have made in training, more than $3.2 million we have invested in training. Hundreds of millions of dollars in pension in the Bartica Agatash area. These are investments through which we have put back money directly into the pockets of the people here in Agatash. And when you look at the village itself, as to what we have done with a presidential grant, since we came back into office, not only did we return the CSO jobs, but we have spent $7.2 million in presidential grant in your community. We've invested more than $7 million in the ICT hub extension, the mini mart, $6 million we spent on the mini mart. And then when we had a two-show conference in Georgetown, we earmarked a further $3 billion to be spent in hinterland and riverine areas. Out of that $3 billion, $10 million came to Agatash. The sewing center for $5 million was completed. Then we had the LCDS. Under the LCDS, and remember, the last government shut down the LCDS. When we came back, we were able to put back the LCDS as a world-class development strategy. And out of that, so far, directly in your community, we have been able to transfer $24 million. $24 million that has helped you to buy a boat and engine, to work on your recreational park, community center, community bond, the heritage games, and other activities, including a school bus that we were able to procure because of the LCDS grant. Under the capital projects, we are spending more than $6.5 million. In addition to that, where is PS? They got the tractor too. You have gotten your tractor and your trailer and implements. These are not fairy tale story. This is the real story of development. The real story of your government developing and delivering to you. And you have our full commitment that as we confront the future, we will continue to work with all of you on the development and advancement of all of Guyana. All of Guyana must rise. Every single citizen must rise. Every single community must rise. All of us must live a prosperous life as we build a future that is long, sustainable, and resilient. That is the only thing. That is the only thing that we pursue. So today, as I said, I don't want to be long. But I want to give you the floor to tell us about some of the things that we can do better. Tell us about some of your new priorities. Tell us how we can expand production. Tell us how we can grow food production. Tell us how we can be of continued service to you. And I'm sure that once you speak to your conscience and speak with your conscience, there is no other answer in your head and your heart that a PPP Civic has delivered to you, and you ought to be responsible to your conscience and continue to support the People's Progressive Party Civic. I thank you and God bless you.
Okay, the grant $5 million, and it's right here. Okay, the floor is now open for you to tell the President what is affecting you in your community, Agatash. You can just do so by raising your hands, and the mic will come to you. Oh, just say your name and you stand up.
Pleasant good afternoon, Mr. President. Mr. President, we're so happy to have you here. And we are happy that you've been addressing certain issues that we have. To date, they need a school. In 1999 to 2003, there was a CDC group, and they have sat on the land committee meeting. They went to a land committee meeting where the community was granted 15 acres for community purposes. To date, I don't know what has become of the 15 acres, as only 5 is occupied by the playground. I think we should get that cleared up so that we can have the 15 acres to do what it is meant for, community purposes. And as regards school, right? Because it's kind of clustered there. And teachers, I think when it comes to the teachers, they need, well, you said that they will be getting a grant. Money is there. It's already there. Well, we are grateful. I must thank you once again for that. Thank you again. Have a pleasant afternoon in our village.
Good afternoon, all. I must say welcome to you, Mr. President, to Agatash, and I think that sentiment is being echoed over and over. My name is Mark Ambrose. I would just like to raise two things. One, the play field. Miss Olinda Griffith just alluded to it. We would like to have our play field rolled and develop in a much better manner because the school, we have a school, and those school children use that same play field. The other thing is, our play field is on a hilltop, which when rain falls, 10 minutes after it dries up. So it's a very good play field that even the partitions can come to use. And if we develop our play field, then we stand the chance of bringing more persons into our community where yes, if we get our play field developed in what a smooth roll play field, more stands on it, then we can host events. Because as of right now, our community have the policing group has youth groups in our community. Neighboring communities want to come and help or use our play field because in Bartico, we only have 3 play fields. And if our play field is developed, then we can share that play field and we can have more persons using it. That's one. 2, as you can see, we're at the beachfront. If we can have this beach developed, pump sand, there are a lot of sandbanks out there. If we can have those sand pumped up to the beach, then we can boost our tourism, right? We have our community members living right along here. They can sell whatever they want. Persons coming into our community to visit our beach, they come in with money, they spend money in our community, which will help our community members. So if we have those 2 projects alone, then we can help to sustain ourselves. Less pressure on the government. We're looking for help from the government, right? So you help us with those 2 areas, and I know we'll be much happier. Thank you very much.
For 8 years. I applied for land, 2 acres of land up the hill from behind me. And I never get a lease. I never get a lease. I go wrong and wrong all the tongue to tongue. They send me back up here and never get a lease.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I am a villager for this community. I live here over 16 years. A piece of land that I'm on. I finished paying for my land, but I'm not getting no surveyor to come and survey it as yet. I went to the Lands and Mine and they told me they will come and they never come. I am next to Mr. Vivian Licorice. He's my neighbor, and I would like him to know where is his boundary and my boundary because it causing a little problem. So, Mr. President, I would like that matter to be settled between me and my neighbor. Thank you.
But I have a little problem with my land. My name is Vernella Clement. It's two issues I have actually. Okay. The other one is pertaining to the community, whereby we has a road linking us from Agatash to Dark Pine. It was an old timber road. It's now on a reserve. But some attention has been given to the road, thanks to Mr. Ward, and a little airing of my view. We got some help on the road, right? But we need the road to be a complete pitch road because a lot of children use the road, farmers use the road, and I myself is an agriculture farmer. I do swines, I do a permanent crop and cash crop. Now, for that road, it would be beneficial to myself and the community at hand. So I'm asking you for some help on getting that road to be pitched, if you can do that for me, okay? Thank you, Mr. President.
We have a team here. We'll be doing birth certificate registration, late registrations, death certificates. If you have any of those issues, you can please come forward and we will serve you while the meeting is ongoing.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Neil Tracy. I hear that the president talked concerning agriculture. A lot of investment in agriculture. One thing I want to bring up, I is one alone and I got 8 kids. And I do agriculture, I do farming. My farm is just behind the South Street at the back. We got a tractor for this village. We got the part where they do the plowing. Every single meeting, Carl, on this place, I beg over and over to plow my land. Over and over and over, I ask. I never one day get help from the community for assist me in the farm. It's not me alone either. They got 4 others farmers, like large-scale farmers. We never even get a cutlass to assist me in Agatash. That's why I heard that a lot of investment in Agatash concerning agriculture. The plants that you plant, the crochet eating it out. The animals are eating it out. No help at all. So, Mr. President, I'm glad if you could look into that for me, please. Thank you.
I am shocked. We've invested in a tractor and plow. Give it to the village. And I am told that we have no one to operate the plow as yet. Now this PS is telling me that from Armenian Affairs. There's a problem we have. So between agriculture and the region, this week, let's get somebody who can operate the plow and ensure that all the people's land is plowed. Waldron, you follow this up yourself. You can't depend on this PS.
Next. Next person.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, my problem is with GGMC. I take out 20 claims in 2017 at Kurishi and been paying for it to GGMC all the time. 2022, the officer going to verify my land. When I get back a letter from Mr. Dennison with GGMC, not a personal issue, is that they collect me money for 6 years and I spend money for get it verified.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Teddy Wong, and I would like to know. Yeah, you know. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Teddy Wong. As everyone know, I'm a cricket player, and I would like to know if when our ground would be up and running in Bartica. As everyone know, I'm a senior player for Bartica and the U19. And I would just like to know if when we would get our ground up and running.
And where I'm living, My Excellency, it's at the end of Agatash. They come and they dig the drains at the back, but it's not done properly, and my yard is still flooded. I think Mr. Ward came and done it, and it wasn't done properly.
The playground, where's Colin? Colin, let's start the playground this week, right? We'll have the playground roll, shape, and that's the Agatash playground. We'll have it roll, shape, and put into operation, and we'll start that work in the coming days. I want to also tell you that we're going to send the head of Lands and Survey, Muniz, right here next week, Thursday, with a team to deal with all the land issues. So Marcia, who is here, will ensure that Muniz and his team come here next week, Thursday, at 10 a.m. to deal with all the lands and survey issue. All right? The farm to market access road, the 1.5 mile road, I think Colin is already going to look at that to see how we can do a fair weather road, a farm to market access road. I like the project. We'll have to examine the feasibility of it, of creating a tourism area here. But outside of that, we have many women living in Agatash. And we want to train the women in beekeeping so that we can have honey production coming out of Agatash. So the Ministry of Agriculture will identify 10 women, create a woman group that is going to get 25 hives with all the protective gears so that you'll be trained so that you can produce honey here and we have a market that we can buy the honey from you. All right? So we're going to do that through the Ministry of Agriculture with you. Outside of that, I think one of the things that we need to do in Agatash too is in the school compound, that's a primary and secondary school. You have a secondary here? The primary school, we have to identify about 2 acres of land, if not in the school, maybe in that 15 acres area, where we can do some shade houses, especially if the area is high. I want NARI and Ministry of Agriculture to see whether in those shade houses we can do carrots and high value crop, right? In the higher areas. So they're going to do an assessment next week. And whatever the assessment says, if it's a high area that we can do high value produce, we're going to do 2 shade houses and see how we can create the production of those. Ramraj, you will look at that. So these are the things, additional things that we will do. Yes.
My President, I have one issue. Since the last time Minister Zulfikar was here, I asked for Aqua Farm. They went and checked it and they never come back.
Look at Aqua Farm for what?
Fish.
What fish?
Well, I don't know what fish they would give me.
Well, that's right. Here. We got to force of all. You can't just want the Aqua Farm. I'm going to ask them. I'm going to ask them to examine whether you can do tambaki. If you can do the tambaki, we're going to do 2 of the marine cages here for you to do tambaki farming. We don't have a problem with that.
Thank you.
Because you have a big Brazilian population also who use a lot of the fish.
Yes, thank you.
So we're going to examine that also. All right, I have to go to another meeting. I think I've covered all your issues. We're going to work on implementing all of this. Thank you very much. Okay?
Thank you.
Sorry. Doctor, do not come. Next week, the Ministry of Health will come to your community to do 3 things. 1, they'll be launching the cervical cancer program in which they will have women screened for cervical cancer. 2, they'll have a screening for all those who need spectacles. Children, the elderly, everybody. Once you need a spectacle, we're going to pay for it for you. We're going to give you a voucher and pay for the spectacle for you. If you need cataract surgery, we're going to take you to the hospital at Port Moran and get those surgery completed for you. So next week, they're going to come to Agatash and do that. The second thing they will do is that they will bring a dental program, especially for our children and the elderly. They will do a dental program here. Cervical cancer, the dental program, and the spectacle program. They will do those 3 things in the community directly next week. All right? Good. Thank you very much.
This way?